When I was 13, my father called me and my two sisters into the living room and declared a new rule for our house. From this day forward, no female in this home is allowed to sit or lie down, he said, voice flat and cold. Standing is the natural state of service. You will stand at all times, even when you sleep. My older sister Opal let out a nervous laugh, assuming it was one of his twisted jokes. Dad's hand cracked across her face so fast the sound echoed off the walls. Blood trickled from her lip. Does that feel like a joke to you? He snarled. Sitting is weakness. Lying down is defeat. Females in this house will stand and serve or they will pay. This wasn't sudden. Dad had always treated us like we were beneath him. He forced Mom to eat her meals, standing at the kitchen counter while he sat in the only chair at the table, claiming women don't deserve the luxury of rest. He refused to let any of his daughters attend school because education fills female heads with dangerous ideas and makes them forget their true purpose. Mom never spoke up. She'd been hollowed out long before we were born. But the standing rule crossed into something darker, something monstrous. He made us watch as he dragged every chair out of our bedrooms and hauled our mattresses to the curb. In their place, he bolted tall wooden poles to the walls and floor. You'll sleep standing, leaning against these, he explained calmly, like he was teaching us a life skill. Horses don't need beds. Neither do females. That first night was pure agony. My legs trembled for hours as I tried to doze propped against the rough wood. Every time exhaustion pulled me under, my knees buckled and I'd snap awake. Heart racing, pain shooting through my calves. By dawn, my ankles were swollen, hot, and throbbing like they were filled with fire. Dad inspected us the next morning while we stood trembling at the counter for breakfast. Good, he said, nodding approval. You're starting to learn. The rules tightened week by week. Leaning against walls was banned. That's cheating. That's partial sitting. He installed cheap security cameras in every room to catch any moment of weakness. If he spotted even a slight bend in our knees on the footage, he'd force us to balance on one leg for hours until we collapsed. Pain builds strength, he'd say. Your future husbands will thank me for making you resilient. After 6 months, our bodies began to fail. My feet ballooned so badly I couldn't force them into shoes. Purple bruising spread from my knees downward, veins bulging under the skin. My younger sister, Pearl, developed dangerous blood clots. Her legs turned cold and numb, but Dad dismissed it as dramatics. Women have stood for centuries, he told the ER doctor when he finally took her in. She's just fragile. He yanked her out before anyone could call social services. At night, I could hear my sisters' muffled sobs echoing down the hall as they leaned against their poles. Opal's ankles had swollen to grotesque size. Skin stretched shiny and tight. Pearl could barely shuffle anymore. I started losing all feeling in my toes, like my feet no longer belonged to me. Mom finally broke one evening, whispering to Dad through tears, "They're only children. Please, just one night of rest. Look at their legs." He seized her by the hair and dragged her close. "Are you defying me? Maybe you need to join them." After that night, Mom slept standing with us, her quiet crying blending into ours. A full year in, Dad's sister announced her wedding. We were ordered to attend. In the car, he drilled the script into us. No sitting during the ceremony. No sitting at the reception. If anyone asks, you tell them you prefer standing. We endured the ceremony pressed against the back wall of the church. During cocktail hour, we hovered near the edges while everyone else relaxed in chairs. Our Aunt Cordelia kept watching us, brow furrowed with worry. Finally, she approached. "Girls, why aren't you sitting? There are plenty of empty chairs. We prefer standing," I recited, voice shaking. Cordelia glanced at Dad. He flashed a tight smile and shrugged. "They're energetic kids. Can't keep them still." At the reception, Pearl's legs finally betrayed her. She crumpled to the marble floor with a sickening crack, her head bouncing hard. Cordelia dropped beside her instantly. When she lifted Pearl's dress to check for injury, she gasped so loudly the entire room went silent. Even the band stopped mid-song. Pearl's legs were black and purple from the knees down, skin split open in weeping sores from constant swelling. Her feet were unrecognizable, bloated and discolored. "What happened to her?" Cordelia screamed, voice breaking. Dad shoved through the crowd. "She has a condition. I'll take care of it." But Cordelia was already checking Opal, then me, pulling up our dresses just enough to reveal the same horrific damage on all 6 legs. Destroyed, dying. "What have you done to these children?"